Hello everybody, welcome to Retire to Rome. I'm Russell.
And I'm LJ, and we are headed over to the city park here in Budapest, Hungary this morning to show you around. Apparently it's called something else, Russell.
Városliget. That's what the Hungarian word is, Városliget.
Okay.
So what is that called in English? City park.
City park. Okay. So we're going over to see what all is available there. It's supposed to be a lot of history, a lot of things. So come along with us. As we come into the park, we were really impressed with all the pathways, and it was amazing how many people we actually saw out exercising, walking their dogs, and different things.
I was also impressed by the amount and the sheer size of I guess they're sycamore trees, and you'll see some of them here in a few minutes as we stroll past, but I was just amazed at the size of them.
There's several buildings. You saw the one of the arts buildings. This is a musical hall here, and I thought the roof line on this building was beautiful. The gardens in the park are lovely this time of year. This is the first, actually I guess we're toward the mid part of May, but I thought this building had a beautiful roof line and overhang there, and I'm going to show it to you a little bit closer here in just a second. But it even has these gold birds going down the side of the building on the glass here, which I thought was really pretty. But a lot of the plants still weren't quite in bloom yet, but close for sure.
Yeah, it's still a little chilly here. You can see by the trees they're blowing. It's a little windy that day, but it's pretty.
As we turned the corner, we saw this castle, and it almost took my breath away. It was so beautiful. And the history behind this castle, and its actual name is what, Russell?
Vajdahunyad.
Okay.
The Vajdahunyad Castle.
And it was built in, I believe it's 1896 as part of the Millennial Celebration, which was a celebration of 1,000 years of Hungary. And if we didn't mention earlier, the park itself was built in the early 1800s, and it's one of the first public parks in the world, not just in Hungary, but in the world.
Right.
And this castle, as you see, it's just magnificent, and it actually houses the Hungary's Museum of Agriculture today, and it actually has multiple styles of architecture. So the back side, I would say, looks a little bit more, I wouldn't say modern, but it's definitely got a different aesthetic to it than the front facade on one of the ends, and we'll show you that here just in a second.
So as we're turning the corner, I looked up and I see this statue or bust image, and it's somebody might be, or some of you might be familiar with it. It's Bela Lugosi. And he was an early actor in early horror movies, especially like vampire movies and stuff. And what's significant about it is he was actually born in Lugos, which is the kingdom of Hungary, but now is actually Lugos, Romania, and he was born in 1882. So I thought that was pretty neat that they had him on that part of that castle.
And here is the front facade of part of the castle that we were talking about. And that day that we were here, they were actually having like I guess like a street fair type thing. And it was displaying a number of vendors showing their wares that had, I guess, agricultural ties.
For the Wildlife Society and a lot of that stuff too.
Yeah, there was a beekeeper there selling honey. People had jams. People had various like pottery and that kind of thing. And it was interesting to see. There were a lot of school children there as well. This was a chapel that was right across the walkway there. All of this is still inside the park, by the way. But just look at the detail on this building. It's pretty spectacular. As we were turning around, this little wagon was there, which I thought was adorable. It had some flowers in it, but this was super cute. As we were looking at one of the vendors there, and This is the other end of the castle. So you can kind of see it's all one building, but it definitely has different architecture on either end. I'm not sure why they did that in building it, but this to me seems like much more of an ancient castle than the other end that we just showed you. This was a vendor, Russell.
Yeah, these people were making a traditional Hungarian stew, and you can see the list here where they was talking about it. Actually, you can get it with the beef from the cattle or the sheep, and they gave the name for it right there. And it had like paprika is a big seasoning here in Hungary, and you can see where they're boiling the meat and cooking the meat over that. But it's also got a lot of potatoes in it, and there's another vat that they're stewing down the potatoes to mix in on it. And boy, it smelled real good.
Yeah, unfortunately, we weren't able to sample any of it. They weren't done, and it was going to be a couple hours, so we weren't able to stay and hang around. But this was, I guess, not a drawbridge, but a gate, I guess you call
it
it.
would be the entrance gate.
Yeah, so it's pretty impressive. This is still the same castle, and we're walking out here now onto I guess around the moat around the castle.
Yeah.
And we're going to show you this building here, which is just across the way. And this water here in front of us, in front of the sign where it says Budapest, Budapest, I'm sorry, I keep calling it Budapest. It's where in the wintertime, when it freezes, it's a big ice skating rink.
Yeah, and like now coming up in the summer months, they got a lot of paddle boats out there that you can, I guess, pay a fee and go out and paddle around and just enjoy the water.
Yeah. It was windy, like Russell said, and we didn't do any of that today, but still very beautiful, lots of people around, and just tons of people enjoying the park. Unfortunately, the day we were there, due to weather, this particular event was not working. It's called Balloon Fly, and it's a ride that allows people to go up in the air like a hot air balloon, up to 30 people at a time, to view the park and the surrounding area. It's been a staple of the park apparently for many years, and I'm sure the views were phenomenal, but like I said, unfortunately, it was a cloudy day and it had been raining, and we were not able to actually go up on the ride that day. So maybe next time. Okay, this is probably one of the most visited points in the park, and it's called what, Russell?
Széchenyi Thermal Bath.
Okay.
It's the most popular one.
Yeah, in Budapest. Budapest. I keep saying it wrong. Budapest has a lot of thermal spas, I guess, and we're definitely going to partake in one of them.
Right.
Not this one because
this is the most expensive.
Yeah, this is the most expensive, but we were able to go into the lobby and look around, and you can see the architecture is just gorgeous. And they have this ceiling here was beautiful. There were people coming in and just videoing. And I think it's about $40 or a little bit more to go into this particular thermal thermal spa,
bath.
Whatever. They have 15 indoor pools and 3 large outdoor pools. And you can go in, and there's various, I guess, things that you can purchase as far as packages and that kind of thing. But like I said, there are many around the city of Budapest, and you can definitely look into those if you're visiting here. I'm going to insert a couple of stock photos that came from the spa's actual website, so you can see what inside the courtyard, I guess not really courtyard, but the inner part of the building actually looks like. So these were just some stock photos. Next, we went to Hero Square.
Yeah, Hero Square.
Okay. Russell, you can probably tell us more about this place. Russell's into history. I'm not much into reading these monuments and stuff.
It's a big square that leads right off Andrassy Avenue, which is a big avenue or street that's lined with all the sycamore trees that we talked about earlier. But I think all the statues that are along the outer portion of it, where you see right here, are actual kings, I would think, down through the succession of Hungary. So
I think it said kings and significant
yeah,
leaders,
significant leaders. Yeah.
people that contributed to the history. I don't know if you know this, Russell, but this is actually a UNESCO World Heritage Site, this hero square here. But I looked at some of these statues of this guy, especially this one here. He looks like somebody from a movie you would see. So, I mean, these horses were really magnificent. They
Yeah.
were beautiful. We're going back now to the castle, and I thought this view was beautiful. Just showing you some of the flowers and things that are blooming right now in the park. Next, we saw this statue, Anonymous, and I'm going to try and get this right. Anonymous depicts a chronicler from the 12th century who wrote I guess a book or an article, I'm not sure, about the deeds of Hungary. And supposedly the thing says if you rub the end of his quill, that he'll help you write. So I did, thinking maybe it'll help me do a better job on these YouTube videos.
You're doing a great job.
Anyways, so this was another area of the park, had a fountain there, and this is looking back toward where we were earlier, showing you the lake area that you can actually paddle boat on now. You can actually see the boats on the other side of the bridge down there. They didn't have those open yet. Okay, so this was the last thing that we did in the park. And this is the Museum of Ethnography,
Yeah.
which is, well, we had to look that up.
Study of human traits and
Culture.
culture. Yeah. I don't know. Anyway.
Whatever that is.
Yeah.
So Russell sat this out. He did not go with me.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I wasn't sure that I could make it. But what it is a pathway that goes up. This is the roof of the building that I'm walking up. And there's this meadow here to my left that you can see. And you walk up these stairs, and eventually I'll get to the top. But it was, you can look down and see through the grates here on this. And I'll speed this up here just in a second. But once you get to the top, there are some beautiful views. And we did not go into the museum itself. There's my looking down view there. And it also gave me a minute to get my breath because it was...
That's why I set it out.
Yeah, I don't know. These steps are killing me. I certainly can tell the age is catching up with me for sure. But anyways, in the meadow, I guess it's what they call a living roof, I guess.
Yeah, green space.
Yeah. So it has, I guess, what you would consider mostly natural vegetation from what we read. But once you get to the top, it's pretty great view. Once I got to the top and actually got my breath, as I turned around there, you could see the building is kind of in I don't know if you would call it a wave shape or something, but the side I climbed, there's also the side behind us. So it's like two identical sides. Yeah. And then you get this great view of Budapest itself. And you can see the mountains over across the river on what is considered the Buda side of the city. But here's another look at the two sides of the building. So you can see the side that I'm on versus the other side as well. So it's identical, but it looked like the meadows definitely were different, at least from a distance there. So I'm glad that I did it.
I'm glad you did it too.
Yeah, I started not to, but I said, I might regret it. The views were, like I said, were great, and you can see a lot of the area here. Obviously, I don't know what half of these buildings are. There's so much history here. But this is a look back. We started, I walked back down and found Russell, and then we headed back to our apartment. So we had a really nice day. in the park. It's a very beautiful area and has so much to offer. The people that live here, it's very unique and a beautiful city park for sure. Be sure and hit that like and subscribe button, and we will see you soon. Have a blessed day.